Hello and welcome to the Leviathan. I believe that's the correct way of pronouncing it. If it's not, tough. Either way, welcome to the Destiny 2 raid. This is the first room that you have to take care of in the raid. It's not really a boss fight. It's more of just a mechanical sequence that you have to go through, which involves killing a few ads. No boss though, as I'm sure you're aware if you've already seen a few videos or you've taken part in this yourself. Now, in the royal pools, you have 4 corners. It's basically a rectangle. Each corner has a pad. One member of the team will stand on the pad in each corner, and that basically activates the pulley system. Now, not only does it activate the pulley system next to the pad, which brings up ads, as you can see, brings up the yellow bars, which you have to take care of. It also activates the pulleys in the middle of the room, which brings the lanterns up into place. Those are the lanterns you need to smash down, as you'll see shortly. Now, the buff you get on each pad, there's a little orb when you stand on it, this psionic protection. It only lasts for about 48 seconds. So, and there's only 6 of you, but 4 corners. The way that we've done it, and I'm sure everyone else has done it, is you have one person standing on each pad. They take the buff. You have what I call a sweeper, one on each side, one on the right, one on the left. He'll basically relieve the people on the pads, going back and forth from top corner to middle, middle to bottom, back to the middle, back to the top. Literally just refreshing the buffs, relieving the people on the pads, making sure that they've got fresh protection. You may find yourself here and there running out of protection because the person in the middle does have to go like top, middle, down to the bottom, back to the middle, then back up to you again. So there may be a few moments where you do run out of your psionic protection. If that does happen, you will burn in the acid water around you. So what you'll need to do in that situation is just jump on the vents to the left or right of you, just to protect yourself until the relief comes. As you can see, I'm running out now, but there's my relief. Zombie Dan jumped in my place, relieving me, holding the pad down while I now go and refresh my orb in the middle. Now, I would like to say as well, if you're doing this and you haven't done this yet, it's always good to take care of the ads in the middle of the room. Just to relieve the pressure of everyone that's going in and out, especially when you come to the damage phase shortly. Now, as you can see, back on my pad, fresh bar, and the sequence will just continue. Yellow mobs will come up. We'll take care of the yellow mobs until the purple smoke comes out of the vents. Once that happens, it's time to run to the middle of the room. Now, that's going to happen very shortly. I think this is the last mob we take care of before that happens. Actually, no, there'll be one more. But yeah, the sequence, the mechanic is pretty simple on this. Like I say, 4 corners, 4 pads, 1 person on each pad, 1 sweeper on each side, basically relieving just 2 people. So 1 person on each side is taking care of the 2 corners, making sure they're relieved. And there he is, he's back again. Allow me now to go back to the middle to refresh my buff. You can't do it on the same pad. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't register. Once you've had it once on a pad, you can't get it 2 times in a row. You have to go to the middle pad to relieve the buff. Refresh it, and then when I come back here, as you can see, it's refreshed again, back to 50 seconds. Now, this is the last one, and in just a second, as you will see, the music changes. The vents start going purple. But I've moved out of the room before that actually happened. But it is time now to take down the lanterns. Now, this can easily be done in 1 phase. This is our first time at doing it, and it was done in 2. But we know next time this can be done in 1 phase. Just have to manage the DPS better. We know what we're doing now. So literally, this is it. Once you come to the middle room, lay down your empowering rifts, whatever you're going to do. Make sure you use all your supers. Stand as a group, so if anyone does die from the ads coming in and smashing you in the face, you can just hold the revive button while you're stood there. You haven't really got to move for anyone. No one should really wipe on this, to be fair. Once you know what you're doing, that is, of course. It is a simple mechanic. Once you've damaged the lanterns, if you don't manage to do it in 1 phase, like as we didn't, you will see that in the middle, scions appeared, which you have to kill. If everyone runs out the room too quickly and that scion's left in there, it's a wipe. He will just explode, as he does in many other of the fights in this raid. He will explode the room. You don't want the room to explode because you'll wipe. And you got to start again, and yeah, yada yada yada. Don't want that crap. Now there was a bit of confusion here. I thought Dan, my sweeper, was going to take the buff first and then come back for me to relieve him, but he stayed there to fight the yellow boss. And when I come back, unfortunately, I was unlucky enough to get smashed in the face, and I died. But then once we're back up, we get the sequence and the river flowing again. Simple mechanic, like I say. Anyone can do this as long as you've got some teamwork in place. As long as everyone's coordinating, you haven't got people that just go off on a tangent or go off and do their own thing or think they know better, you'll be fine. Nice and simple. Okay, so next time we do come back to this mechanical adventure. This is not a boss fight, it's just all about mechanics. We will, there's no reason why we shouldn't, take this down in just this one phase. Coordinated DPS, everybody now knows what they're doing. It's drilled into you. We spent a good, believe it or not, 45 minutes to an hour on this, just trying to understand it, trying to work out what's going on. Once it was under our belts, the mechanics of it, we just smashed it out. But yeah, 2 phases wasn't amazing. Next time it will 100% be a 1 phase fight for us. Unless, of course, like we say, we take some low-level lights, because people may want to carry people through. Not everyone in a clan is super high level. Some people are more casual than others, so they do need a bit extra time to boost their light levels. So you may have a few clans that carry people through, and you may have to expect a 2-phase sequence for this. But from the experience, and if you've got the power, you will do this 1 phase. There's no doubt about it. Despite the fact there was no boss at all in this, it's still a fun thing to do. Mechanics can be fun, bringing people together, working together, rather than just standing there aimlessly blasting away. I mean, most Destiny fights do have a form of mechanics in previous raids from the original game, but this one is definitely mechanical heavy, and it becomes more mechanical heavy as the raid goes on, as you'll see shortly. Good fun. People were getting frustrated, saying, oh, it's too mechanical heavy. I've seen other videos, people are not too impressed with this raid, saying it's not really for casual players, but it is. It really is. I mean, once you've got, the basics under your belt, there's no reason anyone can't do this. I mean, I've played far more complex games in the past, which rely on teamwork and mechanics and everybody putting together, and it was a lot more than 6 people in a group, so when you're relying on 10 people, 20 people, and even back in the day of World of Warcraft, when you had 40-man raids, 1 person let you down, you could screw up. This, in comparison to the old school raids and old school games, is pretty simple, really. 6 people, far less chance of people screwing up. I enjoy this, I can't lie. I do enjoy this. Even when we was getting frustrated at failing, I was still eager to continue. And I always will be. I am one of these people that likes to grind things out. I like to do something until I know exactly the ins and outs of everything. Much enjoyed this. Much enjoyed. Okay, so here we are on the second mechanical fight, the Pleasure Gardens. Now this one, there are 6 royal beasts wandering around the garden, protecting their flowers. There are 8 flowers on the ground. We named them left 1, left 2, left 3, left middle, right 1, right 2, right 3, right middle. So we all know what we was talking about when we was calling out flowers. Now, there are 6 royal beasts. Now, when it comes to the damage phase, each of those beasts will run to a specific designated flower for them. There are 8 flowers, but only 6 of them are designated flowers. So the first thing you need to work out is which of the 6 flowers are the flowers that the beasts run to in the damage phase. You don't want to start damaging the beasts while they're running around, because you'll be chasing them like headless chickens. You need to be at their flower, so they come to you in the damage phase. Now, the 4 people of the spores are running around on the ground, as you can see, nice and simple. They have to stick together to get the buff. The person above with the crystal on the left hand side on this case, sorry, they will be up there looking down, guiding us around to the flowers that are ready to be pollinated. So we move as a team to that flower. As soon as we're at the flower, the player with the crystal will beam down, shoot down at the flower, giving us the buff. As long as we're together, like I said, we will get the maximum out of it, which is times 12 per flower. There's a bit of confusion here. As I run around, we see the mob. I thought we was going to right 3, but it was left 3. But the 3 on the left did get their buff. I still got some of the buff, but just not all of it. So it went to times 31 instead of times 36. But we decided that was enough to go ahead and do the first damage phase. Now in the future, I think we will probably go for more flowers before running to our designated war beasts or royal beasts, and try and just do this in one phase, which is doable as long as everyone's got the right weapons equipped. You've got your supers, you've got a grenade, you could probably use a merciless. See, there's my designated flower. My one was left middle, so the dog come to me as soon as we were ready. We started the damage sequence. This is the best way to do it. This is why I think it's best to try and do it in one phase with the maximum flowers if you can in the future. The dogs will come to you. Now I've got it down to what, a third of its health there on my own. So if the damage was times 48 or times 60, that dog would have been dead in one phase. No doubt about it. The time gets shorter each phase that goes by, due to the fact that dogs become more agitated, that, you know, they know we're there. And I believe one of the dogs did go down. So once one of the dogs go down as well, your time limit does drop. So you could either work it out so you just take every dog down to low health, and then on the next phase you'll still get maximum time, or you can try and smash it out, maximum spores, maximum empower, and take the dogs down in one hit. This was actually quite a frustrating mechanic to begin with, because you're running around blind when you first come here. You're not sure where all the flowers are. You're trying to work it all out. It's quite simple to see when you're above, because it looks simple enough. They're just looking down. You go, yeah, there's one there, there's one there. But once you're down here, as you can see, it's very misty. Lots of growth around you. It can get frustrating. But once you know your way around, again, this does become quite a simple mechanic. Because someone got caught there, that's a good way of saying how not to do it. Because someone got caught, we had to chase the royal beasts around, which meant our DPS was affected. It's always best to be at the flowers, the designated flowers, so the royal beast, comes to you, and you get maximum DPS from that phase. That's the best way to put it, really, to be fair. I have seen a video of 4 people doing this. That's how simple the fight can be. As long as you have people that know what they're doing, it really is, or can be, a quick, simple phase in the pleasure gardens. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned, which you can't see from the players on the ground, is every time a flower is pollinated down on the ground, there will be a yellow barred mob appear up the top, which the people with the crystals have to take care of. Okay, they have to take care of that one with the crystal. We can't damage it. We're running around with spores on our hand. So that's something people upstairs with the crystals have to keep a very sharp eye on. Every time a flower is pollinated, you will get a mob come out of one of the doors at the top. They have to be taken care of by the people with the crystals. If they slack, they can kill the people upstairs on the platforms, on the pillars, or they can even just run into the 4 down on the ground and start smashing them about, which you don't want either. So the people upstairs have more to do than just find flowers and zap flowers. They do have to take care of those ads as well. If they don't, well, give them a kick up the backside, because it's their job. No excuses. Again, from some of the other videos I've seen since we've done this, the people upstairs with the crystals should know exactly where the mobs are coming from. It becomes like a sequence. They know as soon as a certain flower is pollinated, they know where to expect the mob to come from. Now, this wasn't the best fight for us. 3 phases, 4 phases. But again, like now that we know the fight, this was on day 1. Once you know the fight, you're going to smash through it. No doubt. No doubt. Okay, now this is the 3rd mechanical fight. Well, this one's not even really a fight, to be honest. It's the gauntlet. And it literally is just that. It is a gauntlet. There are 4 pads. Each pad has a designated player. And there are 2 runners that go inside the gauntlet at the correct stage. Now, the drippy cup, as we call it, the chalice, is where I am. This has one of the generators that produces an orb. You'll see that shortly. There's generators. That's how you can see which ones it's going to be. There are 2 rectangular stands with white lights on them next to the triangles. That is where the orb will appear. Once the orb appears, the designated runner will go inside once he takes the orb, and he'll have to run the gauntlet. Now, to get through the gauntlet, what's going to happen is there are 3 rows of circles inside the gauntlet. An orb will appear on one of the rows, top, middle or bottom. If the orb appears on the bottom row, the runner will call out top, middle, and the 2 designated players for that runner will take care of the triangles, as you can see, and take out the 2 that he calls out. There we go. Now, the way we've worked this out is me and the second shooter here, we know we're either taking top or bottom, regardless what he calls. So I was designated as the bottom, and the other shooter with me was designated as the top. So if bottom middle was called out, I'd always take the bottom and he'll take the middle. If middle top was called out, I'll take the middle and he'll take the top. So we knew straight away which ones we were going for once he called them. You have to shoot them at the same time. Now, one of the shooters can end up getting tied up taking care of one of the scions. Like in this case, on this one, the other shooter was a bit late because he was taking care of a scion. If he didn't, the raid would have wiped. Scions do appear during the gauntlet, which you have to keep a sharp eye on. Once the runner has done a complete sequence, he will have a charged orb. He will run out, he will slam it into the middle, as the opposite runner would do as well. There we go, 2 in, 4 to go. That is the fight. That is it. Is that simple. This sequence repeats itself 3 times. Once we're back, again, we'll just kill a few ads. I think it's 3 phases of ads come out each side of the doors, each side of the platform, and then it'll be the yellow barred mob. Once you take care of the yellow barred mob, the orb will appear. The runner again will grab the orb. He'll call out which arrows need shooting to allow him to continue going through the gauntlet. Once he's done a complete circle, he'll run in and slam the orb down. Again, I have to say about the scion, make sure you take care of any scions that appear. Do not neglect the scions. If you do, you will wipe. That is probably the most difficult part about this, and it's not difficult. Simple mechanic, this one. This one should definitely have been the first sequence, sorry, or first fight that you should have encountered during the raid. Not the 3rd one. This to me was the most simplest of all of them. Again, the runner's back in. He's going to shout out top, middle or bottom. He's going to call out 2 of them that need shooting, and it's going to be the 2 that do not have the orb in the middle. Okay, so remember, if it's the middle one that's got an orb, the runner will shout out top, bottom. Okay, and then it opens up, he'll jump through the middle one to grab his orb. Nice and simple. I mean, how much more simple can you get? I mean, I felt like this was just too easy. I was expecting so much more, like something's going to happen. I thought, no, this is too easy. This is far too easy. And as you can see, there was a scion that appeared. You need to make sure you take care of that scion. They're back again, as you can see, 2 more charged orbs. That's 4 orbs now charged. And 2 more to go. Rinse and repeat again. Back to your platforms. Take care of 3 waves of ads, then the yellow barred mob, and then you're back in. Now, once you've got all 6 charged orbs into the middle of the room, assuming you've got all 6 in, if you do miss one and there is a bit of a mess up and someone dies, one of the runners dies, just revive him and you'll just have to do another sequence. As long as all runners get through, it's literally 3 sequences. You can't bake on this one. There's no quick way of getting through this. You need 6 charged orbs, regardless of how good you are. You have to do 3 runs in the gauntlet. And again, so the last yellow barred mob will now come out. Guardian down. Down, boom, easy. So this is the last run the runners in the gauntlet will do now. So there he goes, he's going to get his orb. He's going to go in. Now on this 3rd phase you will notice as well, and this is not a bug, this is the mechanics. The platform will bounce around. It's to try and throw you off your shot. They obviously thought, well, we need to make this a little bit more difficult, so we'll make the platforms a little bit bouncy to try and throw the player off their shot. But to be fair, that really didn't work. It is irritating because you think it's a bit glitchy or buggy or it's not working, but it's supposed to be that way. Okay, so if you jump on a platform and it starts bouncing up and down, it's not bugged. Just stay in place, do your job, and just focus on your aim. Now, once all 6 orbs are in, which they're almost complete now, this is the last section here for my runner. Once he's through this, he will have another charged orb. Green light, go. Now he will come out, dunk that in, and then once he's dunked that in, you will have all 6 charged orbs appear in the middle. Now all the players need to grab the orbs. Okay, now we need to wait for this player to be rezzed. Once he's rezzed, all 6 orbs will appear in the middle. There we go. Sonic charges begin to overload. You grab one each, you all get taken into the gauntlet now. Now, there are only 4 orbs that appear. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 in front of us. Only 4 people will make this. If 4 people do not make this gauntlet, it is a wipe. Okay, so I skipped the first one to allow 4 other people to grab those orbs, knowing that I will be able to get this one. So I will take this orb now. This is my orb. I am adamant I am going to get through this. I've given one up at the start. I am now going to make sure I am one of the people that get through this gauntlet. Like I say, with 1 down, 5 to go. As long as 4 people make it through this run, you will complete this gauntlet. And I can smell the finish line. There it is. 1 of 4 now through. There's 2 of 4. Now, once you're back in the room, you have to run to the center and dunk your charged orb back in the middle. As long as 4 people out of 6 manage to do this, there is 2, there is 3, there is 4. Gauntlet complete. Job done. Now, one thing I will say about this raid, it's pretty tight when it comes to loot. Out of the 3 mechanical fights that we went through, this was the first one that I actually received a piece of loot. And it was the submachine gun Mob Justice. Now, it's a nice little gun, but to be fair, I'm not going to use it in raids. I might use it in strikes, I might use it just for running around doing basic stuff, but it wasn't amazing. No. Now, here we are on the last, but only real boss fight of the raid. Calus, the end boss in the raid. Oh, is it Calus? Now, as you can probably see straight away, I made a bit of a boo-boo on this. I had my Elgato muted for game sound. So when I recorded this clip, unbeknown to me at the time, I had the game sound off. So there are no game sounds. However, this Calus fight at first, again, seems overwhelming. It seems a pain in the butt. Sometimes luck does come into it. But again, once you know what you're doing and everybody's got their roles, everybody knows exactly what they're doing, this fight is, I think, will eventually be a simple fight for everybody. Power levels need to be up so you can take a little bit of a beating. But other than that, it's all about teamwork, coordination, and everybody knowing exactly what they're doing. Now, in this phase, once you've damaged all the initial ads at the start, you will all get sucked into this other dimension. Okay, now 3 players will have to jump through the orbs that you just saw appear to go back into the room. 3 players will stay in this other dimension. Now, you need designated spots. Okay, I was left. There was a player in the middle, there was a player on the right. You need to know your path down because there are obstacles in the way. So every time you move down the platform, you may need to make sure there's nothing obscuring your way, blocking your way, that's going to make you fly up into the air and wipe you basically. Now there are 3 mobs that appear on the ground, 3 scions. Each one will be taken care of by the people in the middle. We all know which mobs we take care of. Now the way this works, you will see on the top of the head there are symbols that will appear on his head. 3 symbols. I can only see one of them, the middle player can see one of them, and the player on the right can see one of them. When the symbols appear, we call them out in order from right to left. So it could be sun, dog, and as we call it, the drippy cup. We don't call it chalice, we just named it the drippy cup. So it become that right from the word go. So throughout the entire raid, it was known as the drippy cup. So what we do is we call out the 3 symbols that we see on the head. Then the team inside will destroy the scion on the pad that we didn't call out. So if we called out drippy cup, sun, and the war beast, they will take out the axes, the 4th one. Then the wall will appear in front of us and we'll slide forward. If they get the wrong one or they don't get it in time, no walls will appear to stop us in front, and we will then just slide all the way through and wipe. Once you get to the end, what will then happen is the skulls will start flying at the 3 players. You need to get as many of these skulls as you can, which will increase your damage buff against the boss. Now, the way that we've done this now, after much playing around and testing, we deliberately stay in there as long as we can. Now, it wasn't perfect, our DPS, but we know exactly what we're doing on this fight now. Basically, the 3 outside, they will take the shield down on the boss to the absolute bare minimum, really stretching out the time, letting us get as many skulls as we can. I believe we got like 76 on this one. We should have done a lot more damage than we did, but we didn't. We still obviously cleared the fight, but we got 76 on that one. Literally stretch it out as long as you can. I've seen fights where people are literally ripping the shield down straight away, and then they're complaining at the players inside for not getting enough skulls. They're moaning that they only got 40 skulls or 50 skulls. Well, if the people outside are destroying that shield too quickly, then it's their fault, not the players inside. The players inside can only shoot so much. When the skulls first come out, it's more of an animation. You can't really start shooting the skulls until they reach a certain distance. So if the people inside are eager beavers and they want to smash down his shield instantly, you cannot complain at the players inside for doing what they need to do. Okay, so it's important, if you want to get maximum damage out of this, that the 3 players outside work well, know what they're doing, get the shield down to absolute bare minimum, and then once you get to about 60 spores, then destroy the shield. We'll get the last few skulls that come out, and as you saw, we got 70 something. Now you could probably push it a little bit more and maybe get 80 or 90 before the boss inside completely blows up with his power shield, whatever it is he's doing inside. But you can do this in one phase. I've literally seen this done in one phase, which is insane. 2 phases is definitely doable. 3 will be basically standard. I believe we've done it in 3 phases. I can't remember, to be honest. We'll find out in a moment. But yeah, the sequence really is that simple. I don't think I've missed anything out. The 3 players inside, designated spots, need to call out the symbols in order. Don't shout over the top of each other. Know the order you're calling them out. And as long as everybody's on the ball, it will go nice and smoothly. Dog, axes, sun. Okay, nice and simple. They'll kill the right one inside. And as you'll see, like, the 3 people will jump over the wall in a second and take the orb. Boom, they're going back in the room, leaving us outside the room. So I'm waiting for my colleagues to call out their symbols. I'll call out my symbol. Nice and simple. We'll slide forward, wait for the next one, and it's important you take them scions out, your dedicated scions in front of you, as quick as you can, because they'll fire that crappy purple beam of light which will take out a player. Because as you're aware, when that purple beam hits you, it explodes, sends you up in the air, over your wall, into your doom. So it's important that you know exactly where you're shooting to take out them scions the second they spawn. Now, if you're on the left-hand side and the middle, this last section might be worth adding. For example, me, there, I cannot see the scion on the left. It's behind that wall. So on that last section, we worked as a team knowing exactly what we're doing. I then took the middle scion, and the person in the middle took the one on the left because he could see it behind that big brick that was in my bloody way. So you need to know which scions you're taking, and if you need to switch on a particular scion, that you've got the coordination there, you're working together, rather than going, I can't see it, and then panicking. Know, as a team, which scions you're taking out, as you're aiming at that scion instantly. And then here we are back to the skull phase again. Now, I had a bit of a potato gun aimer here at the start, but we still managed to get quite a few. As you can see what we're on now so far, 16, 18, 23, 28. So they've probably taken the shield down right now, and it's down at a nice low level, just waiting for us. Now it's on 45, 50, so any second now they will finish the shield off, and we'll just take the remaining skulls. What's it up to now? I can't see it. We'll see it when we go outside though. But we've got at least 60 to 70 there, without a doubt. 60 to 70. And again, we just go in. Now, we started off on the dog platform every time, but potentially the quickest sequence would be to start on the sun platform and then come in a clockwise direction, so your jump from each platform is minimized. When you go from the sun to the chalice, or the drippy cup as we call it, it is a long jump. You are probably losing about a second or two of DPS from getting from platform to platform. Use your supers, empower and rifts, everything you got, merciless if you've got it. When he puts his arm in the air, it's worth mentioning, on the first phase, he puts his arm in the air. That means he's about to blow up the platform you're on. As soon as you see him raise his arm, get the hell off that platform and move on. When he's in the robot phase like this, he'll aim a gun, like now, as you can see, down at the platform. You need to get off that platform before he does that. If you don't, you are dead meat. Once it's done, it seems so simple, but it's just execution. It's getting it right, everything falling into your correct path, everything falling into place. Once that's done, it's sorted. It's wow, job done. Don't know what else to say really. I mean, as long as everything's going your way, it's gonna go your way. That's all I can say. You got to keep your head cool, keep it together. Again, teamwork is important, coordination. Don't spam the chat with crap. You know, focus on what you're doing. Talk when you need to talk, so to speak. So people are aware what's going on around them. If people need help, they're aware people need help. You do often get party chats that just end up with people just talking rubbish or just spamming crap. You just keep the channel clear, keep your comms clear, work as a team, keep your head cool. You will do this fight. There's no reason why this fight cannot be done by any clan, any fire team, as long as they're working as a team. No negativity. If you're negative, you're going to bring other people down. You know, you need to keep a positive mind to keep the team positive itself. I've seen a video where this is done in one phase. Crazy. I've seen a video where this is done with just 4 people. Again, crazy. So if 4 people can do this fight, then 6 people should be able to smash this fight. Again, it just comes down to coordination. I don't know how many times I need to say this. Teamwork and coordination. The process is just rinse and repeat, as you can see. The only difference that happens within inside the other dimension, the mind's eye, is some of the floor does disappear. But once you know which sections of the floor disappear, and you have to, you know, alter your path if need be because of that, job done. On this occasion, on the left-hand side, there's just a section on the left that does fall away from the floor. But I don't take that route anyway. I slide round to the right on that last block in front of me. So as you can see there, just to the left, there's a hole in the floor. So if you do slide all the way down the left-hand side, you'll end up falling through that gap if you don't keep your eyes open. But as you can see, I always strafe to the right on this section, so I avoid any gaps in the floor. All I'm doing is moving around any obstacles in my way as to make it easier to get any ads that appear. That is the fight, really. 3 phases of in and out, keeping your cool, calling out the symbols on time, in order, making sure that the team outside knows which one to kill. Again, they kill the one that you do not call out. You could even do this with 2 people inside, if you so wished. And then the 2 symbols that don't get called out are the 2 scions that need to be killed, rather than just the 1 scion. So it does work out in a way that you can adjust the team. You can adjust the tactics. You don't have to have 3 people in. If you're struggling on the outside with just 3 players because the power level's low, then have 4 players outside and just 2 people going in. But bear in mind, with just 2 people inside, the skulls will be shot slower. Still doable, still doable. Like I say, I've seen a 4-man raid, 2 people in, 2 people out, and they still do this. I think it takes 4 or 5 phases, to be fair, but they still do it. Regardless, it is still doable. Now we're now on our kill phase, as you can see. Literally, I believe the next platform that we jump on, we end up finishing him off. There was a little bit of panic in the team. Myself is one of them. Not panicked, but once we removed all the health bar, I was in the party chat giving it the kind of yes, as you do, around about now, and everyone was going, just keep shooting, the shield. But as you can see, everyone was still shooting, but we knew we'd done it now. If we didn't do it at this phase right now, then we need to delete our destiny too. Once you're at that shield phase, it's done, unless you all stop pulling the trigger, it's done. So there he is. There is the fake Calus dead. Now, most of the videos I've seen, they all cut out at this point. They're like, yeah, there's the fight, it's done. For those of you that haven't seen the room below, I left the recording going just for a moment so you can see what we're faced with potentially in the future. Now, we've just had a fight with this Calus, who wasn't even a real Calus, he was just a robot form. He's not the only robot form there is. Okay, thank you for spitting out the ammunition there. I've only just clocked that. I never actually saw that in the game. Can't say I took much notice. But yeah, he just spat out some ammo there. Not required, not needed, but thank you anyway, fake Calus. Now, once he is dead, the room below is open, as you can see. Dun, 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 and more heavy ammo. Unneeded, but thank you. At this point, it was like, is there more? Is there more? Could there be more? But no. Now you're in the throne room to go and collect your loot. You will see that that fake Calus was just one of many. There are dozens upon dozens, potentially hundreds of fake Caluses down here. Will we face more of these in the future? Will they start spawning in the world? Who knows? I doubt it. But why so many? Why so many? Now I've got the Hunter Helm, which I have to say, I'm not impressed with. Not the best looking helm in the game at all. Well, that was the fight. I hope you enjoyed.